One of our core memories of a 2000s childhood was arguably our introduction to the internet. More specifically, I want to talk about the virtual worlds that we explored as kids. What was your favorite? Maybe you liked solving islands on Pop Tropica, nurturing a budding gambling addiction on Habbo Hotel, or getting famous on Movie Star Planet. There was a virtual world for any kind of kid. Now, most of the ones I mentioned still exist. Sorta. But what about the ones that are no longer up? Ones that were shut down by their developers, leaving fans wondering where to go as their favorite pastime has now disappeared overnight. If you're lucky enough, some fans of your favorite closed down virtual world may be making a revival of the website, known as a rewritten version. A rewritten virtual world is usually a fan-made endeavor with new code, usually using as much of the original code as possible. Depending on the length of time in between the closure of a virtual world and the start of a rewritten project, these assets can either be super easy or insanely difficult to find. Today, I want to talk about 3 virtual worlds that shut down and either already have rewritten versions already up or are still a work in progress. The original Pirates of the Caribbean virtual world was launched by Disney Online on October 31st, 2007. It was actually supposed to launch at the same time as the Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest in 2006, but was ultimately pushed back. It was a 3D MMORPG which, unlike a lot of the virtual worlds I had played on growing up, had an overarching storyline. Multiple storylines, actually. These stories are said to take place between the first and second Pirates movies, with the main story that brings them all together is you, the player, are trying to stop Jolly Roger on his quest to take over the Caribbean and kill Jack Sparrow. In the game, players could level up their pirates up to level 50, and each skill was capped at level 30. Skills included cannon, sailing, sword, gun, voodoo doll, dagger, grenade, voodoo staff, potions, and fishing. Quests were completed to earn reputation, gold coins, which was the in-game currency, unlock and collect new items, and overall explore and discover the secrets and fight enemies. There was also a combat mechanic, and the weapons players could use included cutlass, pistol, musket, bayonet, voodoo doll, and staff, dagger, blunderbuss, and saber, to name a few, or most of them. Players could join crews and use ships for travel and fighting respectively, and the crews were used for combat. The game had leaderboards for players to find out where they landed in terms of different lists, like level of notoriety, ships sunk, times in jail, things like that. The game also included several characters from the franchise, such as Jack Sparrow, I think that's kind of a given, Will Turner, my beloved, Elizabeth Swann, Josh Mead Gibbs, and Hector Barbosa. Pirates Online had a roughly 6-year run, with the website shutting down on September 19th, 2013. The Legends of Pirates Online is a rewritten version of Pirates Online that launched on September 11th, 2015. Conversely, a day the Pirates fans will never forget. There's still an active online community of players, and they seem fairly tight-knit. The rewritten game is still receiving updates and has events during the year, with more recent events taking place on St. Patrick's Day where players could get green hair and special hats. They also seem to have added different mechanics such as gambling, which were not seen in the original game.
Let's go gambling! I can't stop winning! I can't stop winning! I can't stop winning! I can't stop winning! I can't stop winning!
If you missed the old Pirates virtual world or just a fan of the movies, the rewrite is totally worth checking out. Barbie Girls was the online virtual world that I remember as being the one for rich kids for some reason. Maybe it was the MP3 player that was able to be purchased that for some reason did not seem optional at all at the time, or the fact that most of the features were hidden behind the premium paywall. Barbie Girls opened on April 24th, 2007 alongside the aforementioned Barbie MP3 players that came with a free membership. The MP3 players were made to look like the in-game avatars and had clothes of their own to customize your player. In-game avatars were even more customizable, with clothes and accessories being able to be bought with the in-game currency B-Bucks. Not V-Bucks, B-Bucks. Players could customize their avatar space with furniture, which was known as Fernie in the game, which I remember Fernie also being a term used in Habbo Hotel because I was obsessed with Habbo Hotel. So maybe that was just a term people used back then, I don't know. Or maybe it was just a generic cutesy way of shortening the word furniture. The website's main hub was called B Central, a city-like environment that took you to different places on the website like the park, B Park, a boutique, B Chic Boutique. Someone got paid way too much to come up with these names, just put B in front of them. There was also a movie player where players could pay 20 fucking B-Bucks to watch trailers of upcoming Barbie films. which they could probably already watch online for free, but I digress. Whoa, what's this little guy? Looking like a Pikmin over here. That was Animal Crossing. The way players could interact was through a system called the B-Chat system, which allowed players in the same room to communicate with each other using pre-selected phrases. Which kind of pissed me off as a kid. Like, it was boring, but in retrospect, it was really to protect us. If players wanted to type their own messages, an email would be sent to a guardian on the account to unlock Super B-Chat. Ooh, wait, that's not all. If 2 players had the MP3 players, their account would become best friends and have a Super B-Chat. So if you were a real savvy online player, you could collect all the B-Chats. That's not funny. The website had minigames, originally just taken from Mattel's other IPs, like My Scene, but eventually made their own minigames for the Barbie Girls virtual world. Which honestly, looking back at these games, they look kind of disappointing. They looked a little boring. No offense if you enjoyed these games growing up. I'm sure there's some nostalgia out there for those games. But also here I am, 24 years old, hating on a nearly 20-year-old virtual world made for children. Ultimately, though, Mattel decided to shut down Barbie Girls in the US on June 1st, 2011, and a little bit earlier on April 30th, 2011 for the rest of the world. The reason given by Mattel for the closure was to, quote, explore new opportunities where girls can experience the best of Barbie, aka, I don't know, profits are low. Some of the aforementioned underwhelming minigames were available on the regular Barbie website for a while after the virtual world shut down, quietly leaving Barbie Girls and its short-lived legacy behind. Until July 2021, when a video was uploaded to TikTok announcing that a team led by Zigzag Tundra was now working on reviving the old virtual world. Almost exactly a decade after the original website's closure. They've made posts on their social media asking anybody for materials from the game that they could use to help in the production of the project, such as screenshots, SWF files, videos, anything really. They do have a Discord server for anybody who has materials, relevant skills, or just likes talking about the old game. Speaking of materials, Barbie Girls has a ton of lost media. So this is where my two hyperfixations overlap. There's so much lost media, in fact, that there is a multi-hour-long video on the Rewritten Project's channel that serves as the first episode of discussing Barbie Girls' lost media. I'm literally pleading with my lost media friends out there. I know you guys can work miracles. I've seen what you've done for others. Bring back Barbie Girls, please. They have been able to preserve some of the original assets, like in 2022 when the team showed their followers a functioning login shell from the original game. The overall difficulty of finding original Barbie Girls assets has proven to be a tricky obstacle, however. From around mid-November 2023 until October 2024, most of their social media went quiet. I'm not sure about their Twitter account because I refuse to make an account on that hell site to check, but I could be wrong there. This led fans and followers of the project to worry about the rewrite's future. However, their social media is back, has been back for a few months, and is better than ever, which was an insane relief for me personally. Not only are the people behind this project searching for old assets, they're also making new additions to the original site. One of the more standout ones is avatar customization, which will now include female and male avatars, and more diverse customization options such as textured hair, vitiligo, and wheelchairs. There's so much in the works that I'm excited to see, and I'll leave a link in the description to their Discord for anybody who wants to go deeper into the Rewritten Barbie Girls project. For our final virtual world that got a rewrite, I just couldn't make this video without mentioning arguably the most popular one, the Toontown rewrite. For me, Toontown Rewritten was actually my introduction to the world of rewritten virtual worlds. I found out about it when I was like around 16 or 17, and it absolutely blew my mind that shut down worlds and websites could have that possibility of being revived and living a second life. Now, I didn't play Toontown at all growing up, which is shocking because I was a virtual world fiend. Like, there was probably more virtual worlds that I played than didn't play. But in order to fully educate myself on the rewrite and its origins, I had to go on an archived version of the official Toontown website from 2012 to figure most of it out. So if there's any part of this game that I left out that you enjoyed, let me know. The original Toontown was launched on June 2nd, 2003 and closed September 19th, 2013, the same day Pirates Online closed. So yeah, on September 19, 2013, Disney actually closed 3 of their virtual worlds: Pirates, Toontown, and Pixie Hollow, which I would like to cover in another video as well, and was also a really popular virtual world at the time. This was like 9/11 for any Disney virtual world fans. Mr. President, a third shutdown has hit the online worlds. If I had a nickel for every time a 9/11 joke was made in this video, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's so weird that it happened twice. Toontown was also interesting because, in addition to the website, Toontown was also able to be purchased via a CD-ROM version released in 2005 that came with a poster, a manual, 2 months of a subscription, and an in-game bonus. I don't know about you, but I don't really remember CD-ROMs being a common way of accessing virtual worlds. I could be so wrong though. Like, I guess you could say like World of Warcraft, but I don't know, that was just like more like a video game to me than a virtual world, even though you could play online. I don't know. In Toontown, players were different animals called toons that were drawn in a distinct Disney 2D animation style but made into 3D models. The animals that players could choose from included cats, dogs, ducks, mice, pigs, rabbits, bears, horses, and monkeys, with horses, bears, and monkeys being only available to members. Yeah, who's shocked there's a subscription system? I'm not. Each of these toons had a health meter called a laugh meter. That's laugh with 2 F's because it's quirkier that way. A toon's laugh meter could be depleted by cogs during toon tasks because, quote, attacks from cogs are so grim and humorless that they literally knock the laugh right out of you. Now, if that sounded like absolute, like, baby Gronk, living done, which, is that even gibberish to people anymore? I don't know, I'm old. Anyways, let me explain. Toons could complete quests, aka toon tasks, where they would fight in combat against the cogs. Cogs are corporate robots that try to take over Toontown and make it a boring, gray, minimalist dystopia. Wait, did I get my research mixed up? I thought this game was fictional. No? Just a massive coincidence and a lot of irony on Disney's part? Alright. There were 4 different corporate ladders that cogs were on that indicated what flavor of boring gray capitalist they were, and each ladder had a boss at the top. Toons would attack cogs with attacks that were called gags, of which there were 7 types, or tracks as they were called in the game. Throw, squirt, tune-up, sound, drop, lure, and trap. All of which could be bought in Goofy's Gag Shop with jelly beans, the in-game currency. Players could earn up to 12,000 jelly beans. If a player earned more than what they could carry on hand or jar and in their bank, extra jelly beans went to the Toons of the World Unite Foundation, which is oddly socialist for a Disney game. Jelly beans could also be used to buy pets called doodles, whose prices would range from 200 to 5,000 jelly beans. Doodles, like real-life pets, needed care and attention and could be trained to learn different tricks, which were play dead, roll over, and dance. Doodles could also assist toons in battle. And of course, it wouldn't be a virtual world without some type of chat system. Players could communicate using speed chat, which, you guessed it, were a set of pre-selected phrases with extra speed chat phrases that could be bought for around 100 jelly beans. Which I want to know, who was buying the extra phrases? Speed Chat Plus actually allowed players to type out their messages, but were run through a filter to keep things child-friendly. Any banned word would be replaced with an onomatopoeia of the toon species. So, meow for cat, wolf for dog, you get the idea. Speed Chat Plus would have to be enabled by a parent account if the player was younger than 13. It doesn't stop there though. There was a final messaging tier called Secret Friends, later renamed True Friends. I wonder what could have possibly been wrong with your kids having secret friends online. Somebody called Chris Hansen. This mode let players add each other and chat with a less restrictive filter if they shared their true friend code with each other. Ultimately, Disney announced in 2013 that they were shutting down Toontown, leaving players to say goodbye to their online home for the past 10 years. However, that would be an extremely short-lived goodbye, as a month before Toontown shut down for good, a crew began working on a rewritten version, which was formally announced on Toontown's final day. The rewritten version officially launched in October 2013, a month after the original game's closure. According to the official rewritten website, quote, Toontown Rewritten picked up where Toontown Online left off, but the game wasn't all there quite yet. Many months were spent reverse engineering and developing the original server architecture to restore Toontown to its full former glory. The team was not only working to restore Toontown's gameplay, but the entire essence of Toontown itself. The story was developed, limited time events included, new features were added, and to this day the game is still actively updated with new content. Players can also add and create their own content and mods for themselves and others, known as content packs. The website says that content packs have been around for as long as Toontown itself, but I wasn't able to confirm if it was referring to Toontown's original launch in 2003 or the rewritten launch in 2013. The team behind this version does not accept donations and is purely funded through the pockets of the team themselves, effectively operating at a loss. The whole game itself is entirely free with no subscriptions, which is a common theme with rewritten projects. You can just tell that this is a pure labor of love, and there's still a thriving community behind it to this day, nearly 12 years after the original site's closure, which was longer than the site's original run. Beginning in summer of 2015, the Toontown Rewritten crew has held an event each summer called Toonfest. This year's Toonfest marks the 10-year anniversary of the first Toonfest. It'll be held from August 8th to 10th in Orlando, Florida, so if you miss Toontown and will be in the area at that time, check it out and show me what I'm missing. I promise this isn't an advertisement for them, I just thought it was really cool that they do that. I'm not big enough to be getting sponsorships yet. I might get a Raycon one. I feel like they'd just be handing those out to anybody. But out of all the rewritten virtual worlds I've seen, this one really blows my mind with the fan base behind it, and it's really something special. So, there you have it, 3 virtual worlds that were shut down and revived by their fans. Let me know in the comments, do you have a rewritten virtual world that you'd want others to check out? Is there a shutdown virtual world that you would love to see a rewrite of? For me, it's Nicktropolis, which was my absolute favorite virtual world growing up, but seems to have a similar issue to Barbie Girls where a lot of its content seems to be lost. And if there's any other virtual worlds or rewrites you want me to cover, let me know. Virtual worlds is like one of my favorite things to research. And I definitely have a few more ideas of other virtual world related videos to make. And if you're all still here, I want to say thank you so much for the support on the last video. And the fact that we hit 900 fucking subscribers, what? It's insane. Like, I have wanted to be a content creator. I wanted to do YouTube. I've been on YouTube. If you see my YouTube channel, it says created or launched on December 21st, I think, 2007. That's me. That was me, 6 years old, making my own YouTube channel. YouTube has been a huge part of my life for the past nearly 20 years, which I don't know if that's really good or really sad, but I just wanted to give all of you such a thank you. I don't know, like it means a lot, and it's insane to me that I'm making content that people genuinely want to watch, and that means the absolute world to me. I hope to have a new video up soon. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. If you're new here, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun shit, and I will see you later. Bye!